pseudo-royal court over there in Montecito. Harry and Meghan are their own worst enemies every single time. They have no way to do anything else but to flaunt their titles around because they don't have anything else to offer. And Harry himself is over here, not really with anything to do. So their, I guess, reaction to this sort of meandering that they've done for the past 5 years without real purpose except for give me money because I need money is to set up a cosplay royal court. I want to remind you that all of this that they've experienced, all the negative headlines, publicity, everything, is mostly self-inflicted.
But that's exactly what Meghan Markle has done here. It is a disgusting new low.
My name is Meghan Sussex now. Call me Meghan Markle one more time, Mindy Kaling. Everyone says they don't have time to make homemade meals, but if you just have 3 nannies, 2 butlers, a housekeeper, a driver, and a full-time personal assistant, you have all the time in the world. Stop making excuses and start moving snacks from one bag to another.
I am so excited because one of my closest friends is coming over to help me cook today. What's her name? Line?
I would do way less salt than that. Let me just do it, Jen.
It's Marcy.
Whatever.
Any type of flower arranging is just telling a story. What story do you want to tell? Maybe leave the country. Maybe disown your dad. Be creative with it.
Welcome to my garden. Well, it's not my garden, it's a set actually, but welcome to my set.
Behind the safe walls of Montecito, chaos is rising, and it's coming from the inside. Former staffers are breaking their silence, and what they're revealing is unreal. The image Harry and Meghan have worked so hard to build is cracking under pressure. Now, whispers of royal cosplay, unpaid overtime, and eerie territories are flooding the world. The question now isn't just whether the Sussex brand is in trouble, it's what the whole truth really is. From the outside, the Montecito mansion was simply a rich and modern home, far different from the original traditions of Buckingham Palace. But according to former staffers, what formed behind those walls was something far stranger. Ex-employees allege that Meghan and Harry, in their attempt to reinvent the monarchy on their own terms, created a mini-kingdom that looked suspiciously like the one they'd wanted to escape. Only this time, it came with wellness mantras, scented candles, and strict hierarchies.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have created a new cosplay royal court over there in Montecito.
Sources claim Meghan took on the role of unofficial queen, complete with chiefs of staff, personal press secretaries, and a strange web of unspoken rules. There were protocols for eye contact, color-coded clothing restrictions, and even territory zones defined by diffuser scents. One former event planner described the experience as palace cosplay on steroids, where everything looked polished on camera but felt shallow and chaotic behind the scenes. The term Montecito meltdown reportedly emerged from these dynamics, as insiders described sudden outbursts triggered by minor mistakes like a pillow out of place, a scent deemed too wintry, or a smoothie not at the ideal temperature.
It's so funny you keep saying Meghan Markle, you know it's Sussex. Is this a wrinkle I see in my blouse? Who the f ironed this? I told you to iron this shirt 10 times. It looks like you only ironed it 9. It is elevating the ordinary little things. And who got the Kroger peanut butter? It's not even organic.
Each mess-up, no matter how small, allegedly risked instant termination. And it wasn't just about performance, it was about brand. Employees were expected to blend into the wellness aesthetic, to never clash with the mansion's vibe, and above all, to preserve the illusion. The more you go into Montecito, the stranger it gets. Former staff describe a household governed by colors, candles, and cues that felt oddly like secret codes instead of simple workplace rules. According to multiple insiders, Meghan and Harry's home was divided into scent zones, light signals, and behavior protocols like the rumored corridor system that dictated who could be seen, where, and when. This system was color coordinated. Green meant couriers and staff could pass through freely. Amber signaled a possible interaction, a standby alert. But the color crimson was the unspoken order to vanish. Crimson meant Meghan, or sometimes Harry, was in the area and didn't want to be disturbed. One former staffer swears the nursery wing was in red so often it became a no-go zone, even for nannies. Employees allegedly began memorizing these codes, fearful of slipping up and facing a meltdown. Additionally, according to multiple reports, Meghan allegedly meticulously monitored the house's fragrance flow. Lavender was considered calming until one day it wasn't. Bergamot was fresh until Meghan declared it too wintry. A housekeeper described sprinting to change diffuser blends mid-shift after Meghan supposedly decided the aroma no longer matched her on-camera energy. One florist said she memorized 3 separate floral changes for a single lunch because the centerpieces kept changing depending on what might be captured by paparazzi, a Netflix Netflix camera or an Instagram reel. The demands were just insane. Eye contact rules allegedly returned as well. Staff could nod at Harry but had to avert their gaze from Meghan unless she initiated conversation, an attempt, some say, to preserve her mystique. And the next wave of revelations was just as shocking, as Harry and Meghan's media deals began to crumble, like Spotify walking away and Netflix cutting budgets. So too did the wall of fear that had kept former staff silent. Encrypted messages flew back and forth, and what once felt like separate complaints suddenly started forming a pattern. The fear of lawsuits began to lose its power over them. Several former employees reportedly began sharing timestamps, call sheets, logs, and even photos, all evidence that their experiences weren't alone. One chauffeur described looping wellness mantras over the car speakers while rushing to a last-minute flower run, only to learn that the housekeeper that morning heard the same track blasting from a hallway speaker. Neither knew the audio was being used as a covert scheduling cue. Another source revealed that the scent of lavender wasn't just aesthetic. It had become symbolic of a mood shift, almost like an emotional warning signal. It wasn't just chaos. It was a system of strange protocol designed to maintain an image, but at the cost of the workers. Insiders began comparing notes, realizing their stories mirrored one another, down to the diffuser swaps and hallway nods. Some were sharing screenshots of overlapping schedules and photographs of the corridor light panels. And with business deals vanishing and whispers of investor hesitation, staff realized the Sussex brand wasn't the fortress it seemed. A former driver claimed that a Hollywood lawyer advised him not to worry. He was told, Meghan and Harry don't have the bandwidth or budget to sue everyone anymore. Once that idea caught on, the stories started flowing faster. While the staff began comparing stories, another problem was quietly arising too: money. After Harry and Meghan's high-profile exit from royal life, they secured solid deals with Netflix and Spotify. But over time, the fame faded. Spotify pulled the plug, blaming underperformance. Netflix began tightening its budget, reportedly pulling back on certain content partnerships. Suddenly, the Sussex brand was falling, and as the income slowed, the household's spending habits came under scrutiny. According to former aides, Montecito's extravagant routines clashed hard with its new financial reality. Weekly green juice deliveries allegedly racked up four-figure bills, not including imported matcha or the gold leaf garnish Meghan reportedly insisted popped better on camera. One chef claimed he was asked to switch to saffron. Half the price, same luxury look, after a quiet hint from accounting. Another staffer described replacing $800 candles with cheaper ones, then being told to hide the burned wicks to maintain a perfect table aesthetic. It was what one insider called billionaire cosplay. Word of these collapses began reaching potential investors. Rumors swirled that a Los Angeles capital firm requested a financial escape method if negative staff stories erupted. One wellness brand allegedly asked for proof of sustainable staff relationships after hearing about the blow-ups that triggered overtime chaos. Even the home's SUV fleet reportedly sat unused while cheaper ride shares took staff to off-site errands. Behind the walls, staff claimed morale dipped lower than ever. Some took meditation breaks in laundry closets to escape the pressure. Others left altogether. One florist who trimmed the decor budget as tight as possible said she still wasn't spared from critiques about visual harmony. As the money dried up and the staff leaked out, Meghan and Harry's team reportedly was in crisis. According to insiders, even the most innocent leaks, like a diffuser argument or a wardrobe dispute, could derail it all. Ex-employees say this paralyzed state hit every aspect of the couple's communication strategy. One former copywriter revealed that entire press releases would be scrapped last minute when a new leak forced rewrites. The shoot was postponed indefinitely. Everything they did raised suspicion. When Harry made a surprise visit to a local veterans center, insiders claim PR teams had to push smiling photo ops against the risk of another staff story dropping the same day. The fear of bad press began overpowering every decision, and the media wasn't playing along like it used to. One publication company allegedly canceled a photo shoot entirely, worried that images of a pure and calm environment would bring forth public criticism once more. Even their neighbors, once silent, began reacting. A Facebook post from a nearby yoga teacher read, "Wellness can't mask stress forever." As Montecito's image fell down the drain, Meghan and Harry found themselves trapped between their displayed reality and the public's disbelief. Behind the press releases, calm Instagram posts, and interviews, staff at the Montecito mansion say they were living through emotional whiplash. While the world saw a haven built on wellness and empowerment, insiders claim it felt more like walking on a tightrope, one that shifted with every new activity. And for many, the mental toll was deeply personal. Former employees described the household as unpredictable. When Harry was in what they called his chill chef phase, the kitchen played rock music, instructions were loose, and staff joked around. But when Meghan entered her, quote, producer mode, the tone flipped. Everything had to match whatever platform, Netflix, Instagram, or paparazzi, might be watching that day. Staff learned to read the unspoken signs, changing things based on which version of Meghan showed up. One personal assistant allegedly watched Meghan mute a Zoom call, then launch into a whispered hit that left an aide in tears. 10 minutes later, that aide was gone. Another worker described being summoned to a garage at midnight for a uniform inspection. Their shirts didn't match the mansion's neutral palette, and they were told to replace everything by morning, all while juggling a last-minute grocery run for more aesthetic options. And then there were the invisible rules. Bright-colored clothing was quietly banned. Eye contact with Meghan was discouraged unless initiated. Radio chatter was monitored for any tone and pitch to be used as a hint. Employees weren't just following orders, they were trying to survive. Chapter E. Emotional cost of this all was steep. Some took meditation breaks just to breathe. Others left abruptly, burnt out from what one staffer called a job that expected you to be invisible until you made a mistake. And as more workers reached their breaking point, the leaks only intensified. The fallout soon began to spill outside, first through staff and whisper networks, then into neighborhoods, charity boardrooms, and even the investor world. What was once a controlled household image was now unraveling, and those watching from the outside were starting to distance themselves. Neighbors in the high-end neighborhood of Montecito began to show signs of discomfort. According to sources, a homeowners association board member allegedly floated a stricter drone rule after paparazzi copters were spotted hovering over an ex-staffer's recorded exit interview. Even charitable organizations that once eagerly aligned with the Sussexes reportedly began reconsidering. A children's nonprofit that prominently featured Meghan and Harry in past campaigns allegedly paused a special event, worried that any partnership might be overshadowed by staff drama. The risk of reputational damage was too high for anyone. The financial industry was separating themselves as well. At least one California-based investor group allegedly requested conduct clauses before considering funding Meghan's lifestyle brand. Another rumor claimed a partnership deal was put on hold until Meghan's team could guarantee more stability. Even staffing agencies were rethinking things. One boutique firm in Beverly Hills reportedly shortened all contracts for Montecito placements, citing emotional volatility and undefined overtime. A recruiter at the agency allegedly warned a potential new employee, "Go in with eyes open." Some veteran house managers even floated the idea of forming a quiet alliance to compare notes, out of help for survival. How to manage not just the job, but the psychological turbulence. By now, the public illusion was clashing violently with the storm behind the scenes. And for many watching from a distance, this illusion was no longer sustainable. The question wasn't just how long Meghan and Harry could keep things up, but whether anyone still believed them. And with each new staffer that stepped forward, it became harder to ignore the truth. What began as a fresh start in sunny California has morphed into something far more complicated. Behind the aesthetic posts and charity appearances, the Sussexes' Montecito mansion now stands as a place where wellness meets chaos, and privacy brings forth public drama. Former staffers paint a picture of rich cosplay, emotional tolls, and public doubt. Whether these claims are exaggerated stories or glimpses of a true reality, one thing is clear: the narrative is no longer theirs to control. With every new leak, this family's legacy breaks a little more. So now we ask, has the Sussex brand run its course, or are we just watching the next short gossip? Let us know what you think in the comments, and stick around, because what's coming next might just take it all.